Free Japan Channel number 115. Today, Wednesday, the time is 4 p.m. Outside is raining. So raining Wednesday afternoon, 2025. How are you doing? Here in Yokohama, this rain will drop the temperature further. The autumn is going by and the winter will come soon. Today's FGC topic is Medieval Philosophy, Universality Debate. This is the topic of today, Universality Debate. What is universality in the medieval context? This is the category itself. Category itself is the universality. For example, there is Taro, there is Mike, there is George. So each individual person exists, stay there, or an apple, a table, a window, a house. These things also exist there. However, these are all individual items, aren't they? And to take Taro and George or Mike, they are human beings. So human beings are, in this sense, universality. And Taro, Mike, George, this individual person, individual boy, is literally individual. Then, universality, in this case, human beings. Does human beings exist? This was the question of medieval intellectuals. This question sounds a bit ridiculous to the modern people. However, in the medieval age, the question whether humans exist or not was crucial to the people who were engaged in Christianity. According to the doctrine of Christianity or doctrine of the Bible, humans were sinful because Adam and Eve were sinful. So this sin was stigmatized to the category human beings or humans. Therefore, when human beings don't exist, in other words, the universality doesn't exist, each person can say, this is a sin of Adam, this is a sin of Eve, but it's not my sin, because there is no connection between the person and Adam and Eve. On the other hand, if humans exist, universality exists, then even though we are not Adam and Eve, even though we don't meet and talk to Adam and Eve, nevertheless, their sin is our own sin because we are all humans. Universality is there. Does universality exist? Does human beings exist? This is the question of the Middle Age, approximately 11th century and 12th century. On one hand, Anselmus preached that the universality was there. Humans exist. And according to Anselmus, we human beings are all burdened the sin of Adam and Eve because humans exist and we are also one part of humans. On the other hand, Roscelinus told otherwise. He said there was no universality at all. Therefore, there is no general human, or there are no general human beings. So human beings, this is only the name. This is only the name. Only the sound. Roscelinus even said so. Anselmus was called realist because he said that humans exist. And Roscelinus was called nominalist because he said there isn't. Later, Thomas Aquinas reconciled these two schools and saying that the middle part should be taken between realism and nominalism. Of course, Thomas Aquinas employed more elaborate argument. However, in this channel, FGC, we only have to think that Thomas Aquinas took the middle part of these two schools, realism, Anselmus, and nominalism, Roscelinus. Nominalism is the school of Middle Age in this way, and Russian philosopher Alexander Dugin said that this nominalism is the root of Western liberalism. According to nominalism, each individual only exists there, and there are no humans. There is no comprehensive humans. Only individual is there. Therefore, each person should pursue his own interest, his own profit, his own ideology, without thinking about the profit of community or without any consideration about the state or God. According to Dugin, this kind of Western liberalism should be discarded, at least in Russia. And Dugin said the origin of Western liberalism can be derived from this Roscelinus nominalism. Personally speaking, I think that Dugin's argument is totally right. Nominalism is the root of Western liberalism. Of course, liberalism itself in 2025, is it good or bad? Dugin said that it is bad. Western liberalism should not be adopted in Russia. I don't think that this opinion can be applicable. Dugin's refusal is applicable in Japan because here in Japan, Western liberalism is so deeply rooted. Therefore, people are already accustomed to being alone, even though they make families or they make communities. The minimum entity is individual, not community, not church, here in Japan. In this way, the medieval debate between realism and nominalism has still some influence on modern philosophy or modern debate. The study of philosophy is essential to manage the individual life as well as company and as well as the state. Thank you.